What's up, everybody? This is a interview or article that I will be reading today. This is from Sci-Fi Entertainment, and it says here, the official magazine of the Sci-Fi Channel. And yeah, Terry did a article or interview in this, and this is from April 1996 and was originally $3.95. There's also a bunch of other stuff, obviously, in this. All kinds of 90s stuff. Yeah, I remember. I thought the 90s was pretty cool, you know. That's when a lot of the stuff today came from there, you know, so modern computers, better games, all kinds of stuff, TV shows. Here is let's see if I could get this to focus. There is a picture of Dax, and it says next to it, "I'm Jadzia Dax. I grew up with Star Trek," says former elite model Terry Farrell, who went from playing at Trek to playing in Deep Space Nine. And that's on the 36th page. So yeah, if you saw some of the other stuff, you could see just how big some of these magazines get or are. There's a bunch of old books. Take 5 books for $1 with membership. Huh. Here's a old advertisement for a chessboard, and it looks like it's for the old or the original Star Trek. Huh. There's nothing else like it in the galaxy. Oh, that's actually a Gene Roddenberry quote. Huh. Oh, I remember. That's from Generations, the movie, if I remember correctly. What? This is a remote control phaser? stuff they used to sell back then. Some more stuff. All kinds of stuff. Oh, is that a book? Or something, I don't know. Some kind of program or... Alright, here we go. So, there is a picture of some of the DS9 crew, and that looks like from the spaceship, the Defiant spaceship, a scene from one of those episodes. It says, this season, a series of bold strokes has been made in an effort to win new viewers for DS9, including the presence of Lieutenant Worf, Michael Dorn, Wright, and Jadzia Dax's dilemma in the episode Rejoined. Alright, so, here we go. Standing tall and assured among the command crew based at Deep Space Nine, Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax is easily distinguishable from her human colleagues by the trail of spots dotting her head and neck. As the ever-cool and collected, sharp-witted science officer, Dax is a trill, a joint species that comprises the host body of a young woman named Jadzia and the 300-year-old worm-like symbiont life form named Dax. It's not always easy planning an alien with a collective memory that spans 6 lifetimes and both sexes, but Terry Farrell, who plays Dax, is up for the challenge. I love to act, Farrell says. It's so much fun trying to understand different people and getting to play them. The best thing about being an actress is having different careers. You feel like you vicariously live something. You get to play different kinds of people, so you feel like you get to experience more out of life. The toughest thing about acting, says Farrell, is acquiring patience. Patience with yourself to grow, patience to know that even if you don't work for 3 months, you have to have faith that if you've been working, you're eventually going to work again. She pauses. I think the most challenging thing is not to let the business run your life and to... Oh, here we go. But to enjoy it and just enjoy each moment as it happens instead of anticipating what's going to happen. It's not surprising to hear that Farrell, who's naturally effervescent and good-humored in conversation, likes to do something because it's fun and enjoyable. But that's not Farrell's only criterion, especially when it comes to her work. I think that if I could have a goal, Farrell says thoughtfully, it would be to work on quality projects. I'd like to do something that at least has the same integrity our show has. I really don't care what the medium is," continues Farrell, "because it's not like if you work on television, but you can't work on features. There are more interesting parts for women on television, more so than there are on film, and if that means I'm going to work in television for the rest of my life, I would be totally fine with that." Of course, though, that's not always the case, as Farrell readily admits about some of her earlier work. Sometimes you have to pay the rent. I did Red Sun Rising. I didn't really need to do it, but sometimes you need to work for different reasons. I looked at it because I wanted to play the cop. I did a movie a long time ago called Off the Mark, only because I needed to pay my rent. An Iowa native, Farrell turned to acting after spending 3 years in New York as a teenage model, a field that she quickly conquered. In those days, the elite agency, which represented Farrell, truly lived up to its name. Carol Alt Kelly-Emberg, Paulina Poriskova, and Kelly Lentz were stars of the agency at the same time as the 17-year-old Farrell, and all, including Farrell, made their feature debut in the 1983 fashion documentary Portfolio. I started taking acting classes at that time. I read for a TV movie called Paper Dolls. I didn't get it. Alexandra Paul did. But when ABC later cast the series, Farrell was called for the role and made the move to LA. Farrell was undaunted by the prospect of making the jump from modeling to acting, particularly since the show was an inside look at the world of supermodels, a world she knew quite well for her years. And Farrell feels that her modeling experience was itself a help in making the transition to acting. In a way, being in front of the camera really helps a lot. She says of her modeling career, "You're not afraid of the camera. Your job every day is..." And just before I go to the next page, it says here, "I grew up with Star Trek," says former elite model Terry Farrell, who went from playing at Trek to playing in Deep Space Nine. Anyway, so the next page it says, "Your job every day is..." "to look right into the lens. I think that makes you feel more comfortable with the crew and the whole way of life on the set." Well, this is a pretty long article, so I'm going to be making a second part for these long ones.